Hey, what's up everybody? Bdf 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so I took care of everything that needed to be taken care of. Kind of got into it a little bit with my guy at the front desk, even though we both apologized. I think he's having a bad day. I'm having a stressful week. He called me around 11:30 and told me I needed to pay by 12. I'm like, I got a lot of stuff to do. I can do it by 4. And he said, well, we're going to lock you out if you don't come before the end of the shift. And I said, that's some bullshit. I've been here 2 years. He said, well, we knew management. That's your problem. And it was not pretty. It wasn't pretty, but me and him get along. That's the thing about it. Like, I really get along with that dude. So we were both apologizing really bad, and I think we got it right. I think we're well past that. I don't dislike him. He's doing his job. He don't dislike me. I got the money on time. So that's really what it's about. But over the phone, we were not on the same page. But and sometimes those type of spats give you even better rapport with people. You know what I mean? Especially when you can make them right. So I think we'll be all right, but I just got a little frustrated because they asked for cash. They don't allow for any options other than cash. And so my thing was, I got to go to the other side of town to get my cash, and I got a lot of things to do today with no car. So what makes this type of business work with those type of parameters is the flexibility to say, hey, you can pay us before the end of the day, or at the beginning of the next day. That's what the old management did. That's why it works, because it's hard to get cash. People work, you know what I mean? For one, sometimes banks close early on a Saturday, not open on Sunday. It's hard to get cash. But what he didn't tell me is that they've installed a new ATM. Now, the ATM is something I will never use here because they only allow you to pull out $100 increments, and then it's like a $3.75 per transaction charge. So you're literally going to spend like, hey, buddy, what's up? How we doing? You're going to spend literally like $11, $12 just trying to get your money out with their ATM, or maybe even more. And that's not something I'm willing to do. So I would never do that. But at the same time, it's good to know that if all else fails, at least that is in place. And they have one across the street as well that's cheaper. But point is that there's an option to where you don't have to worry about going to the bank if for some reason it's a Sunday, if for some reason the place across the street is closed and you need to hurry up and meet that deadline. If you're willing to spend an extra $15, you shouldn't have any problem because they've installed an ATM. So that's a real thing that I didn't know was in place. He didn't tell me. And my thing is, like, I got to go all the way to the other side of town, man, to get the money. And shit, man, I may not be able to get it sometimes. Sometimes my uncle may not be able to get the transaction on time. Like, if y'all open up the options, because the other management, they had their own reasons for why they didn't. But if you open up the options, you'll be good to go. Because people can be there on time. But at the same time, it's like, if you're going to restrict people to just cash, then it becomes a situation where they may not be able to get it. And if you're talking about locking people out because they don't meet your deadline by 4 o'clock, what about the people who leave out at 7 a.m. and don't get back till 6 p.m.? Some people work long shifts. So how do they get around this? You know what I mean? So I think this is a situation where they're going to find that out as they go along. They're going to have bad interactions with people that have been there for a long time, because some of these people really do work long hours. Some of these people work 2 and 3 jobs. They're not going to be able to get you cash on a Sunday by 4 p.m. It's just not possible. And if you're threatening to lock them out, you're going to have some terrible interactions. And you're going to lose a lot of people. And so it becomes a situation where I think that because they're new to the game, they ain't really learned that yet. But these type of interactions will help them understand, like, yo, it's in our best interest as a business to be a bit more flexible if we're going to make it so that people can only use cash. And if we want these deadlines, then we're going to have to open up the flexibility options dramatically in order to be effective and to not have people cussing us out every 3 hours. Because that's what they're going to end up having. It's not really feasible. And I understand that when you implement an ATM, it can make things a lot easier, but the ATM is so expensive, and these are poor people. So they're not going to choose to use your ATM if they have any other option. And so that's gonna prove to not be the greatest investment either, in my opinion. So, it's new management. They have no rapport with anybody, or vice versa. And so they don't know that they can trust somebody like myself. I ain't 2 years of management had to worry about me. Early on, we had issues because they didn't know. But once that rapport was established, they understood that, hey, I'm going to have the money every week. We like clockwork. You know what I mean? It's just whether or not my uncle is able to get that money to you at a certain hour is the concern. But as it pertains to you getting on the calendar day, I'm going to pay on time. Every calendar time. It's just a matter of what hour. What hour? And if you open up your parameters in regards to that, you're gonna find that you have good people. But if you shut them parameters off and you close them off, you're gonna lose those good people. And again, it's just poor people you're catering to, people who don't have a lot. So it's incumbent upon them, in order to afford living here, to work 2 and 3 jobs, most of them. It's incumbent upon them, people like myself, to rely upon other people to assure the money gets where it needs to go in my hands in order to give it to you. So it's like, it's just hard to run your business, a business like this, with those parameters and those restrictions, without having a tremendous amount of headaches toward yourself and your customers. And so he understands that, but like I said, I think he was having a bad day. He's not management. And you know, we talked about that. I was like, I understand, it's not, you're doing your job, you're doing the same thing I would do. Whatever they tell you, you do. You know, it's not about what I want or whether or not you appreciate the people or nothing like that. You got to do your job or you lose your job. So I should have understood the culture difference as well. Because if I was talking to somebody that's from America, he would know that I'm not saying you're bullshit or that I'm offended by you implementing the rule. I'm just expressing to you how frustrating the rule is. I don't think that quite connected until afterward. And so he thought I was being disrespectful to him, which it can be considered that if you want to look at it that way. But I think most people in our culture would understand, yo, this customer is pissed off, but not at me. But like that's the disconnect a lot of times when customer service circumstances are taking place. So whatever the case may be, it all worked out. I was able to get the money, paid it to him on time. It's already past the time because they wanted by 12. It's like 12:30, but I got it to him, and we're good for the week. And I understand what I need to do in the next couple of weeks to ensure I'm going forward prepared. But I did not have it, man. I've been frustrated all week just because of everything that's been going on with my phone situation with EBT, which actually the Lord worked out in all of our favor out here in California. I think the majority of people in California did get their EBT on time and their GR on time, including myself. So a lot of what it is I've been stressed about, it's not in place anymore. But the carryover from that stress has kind of been lingering in different ways. As I told you guys, I wasn't handling that phone situation all that great. And so for the last 2 days, I did laundry and just kind of stayed in the house. I did 2 playlists yesterday, the Lee CD 434 and K-List 432. I think they both came out really good. Looking forward to doing the art and listening to those. And, but I've had migraines. That's what I'm trying to get around to say. I've been having some unnatural migraines over the last 2 days. And usually I sleep and wake up and I'm fine. Right now I'm fine. I don't feel nothing. But it's been a little more pressure behind my eyes. And I know it comes from that damn stress that I've been dealing with all week. With these various different things I've been dealing with that have since smoothed out. And so, it's like, okay, I'm not stressed anymore, but like the carryover from that stress still has physical effects on the body. It's the truth. So I don't know. I think that's kind of what he ran into, man. I was already anticipating them bothering me early, calling me at the time he did. And then when the phone rang, I'm like, what the heck? And then he's talking about locking me out. I was cool till the man started saying he's gonna lock me out. I'm like, bro, you understand I have to get cash on a weekend? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's not easy. And so that's how that went, man. I felt bad. He felt bad. He's a good guy. I like this guy more than most. You know what I mean? Some people you click with right away, he's one of them. That's why I was pissed at myself. Like, damn, you might have just burnt a bridge with somebody you get along with. Like, I get along with him more than the other guy at the desk, although the other guy at the desk is pretty cool too. But like some people you click with. And so, but it made for a good situation because he understood, man, I messed up, bro. I said some words I shouldn't have said. I used tones that wasn't necessary. It wasn't that serious. It was no way that I wasn't going to get back in time. I just didn't appreciate the pressure applied to me. I was going to get back in time. Everything I had to do today was going to get me back here before 4 o'clock because the Laker game starts at 5. So I wasn't about to be, you know what I mean? I wasn't about to not be back in time. But I just, my ego was like, nah, man, don't be putting this pressure on me. I've been here for 2 years. You know what I'm saying? I got good rapport up here. Everybody up here know I'm a good guy and on time with the money. Don't come up here all new and then put these unrealistic expectations upon all of us and then threaten to lock us out with all our stuff. That's not something that you're going to get. That's something you're going to receive pushback on, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You're going to receive pushback. I'm not a tough guy. I don't imagine that anything would happen. You know what I mean? I'm not going to do anything, but it's just the point. Like in a moment like that, you get frustrated. Like, yeah, don't do that. Don't apply pressure to people that have already proven that they don't require that to meet deadlines and be on time. I'm one of those people. You know what I mean? But again, as he said, new management, new rapport needs to be established. A new trust needs to be established. And that's frustrating because that's not within our control. But it is definitely in place. So, yeah, man, I apologize to him, and I do it on the camera, man. My bad for using those words. I can be better. I understand culture differences better than I acted like I did, and I think the devil got a hold of me. My ego got a hold of me, and it wasn't his burden to have to carry that. So, and he felt the same way. He felt the same way. I could tell in the way that he spoke to me. He wasn't happy with himself either. So I think we're going to be good going forward. I still have great things to say about the dude, and that's pretty much that. So now, damn, this burnt down, huh? This liquor store that I walk past every day, somehow it burnt down. Jesus, you just never know. You never know, man. But yeah, man, I think about the people who didn't get their benefits. There's still a lot of people in this country that did not get their benefits, and I told you guys. Myself, I could handle what was going on for a little while. Now, if this was permanent, it'd be a problem. But like, however long this lockout was going to be, I felt like I would be able to make a way to eat. There are people out there who didn't have that afforded. That's not afforded to them, and they're the ones I'm thinking about right now. Even though California, I guess everybody got. I don't know if everybody in the state, but the majority of our state got our benefits on time. But there's still a lot of people out there that I'd imagine have not. And from what I understand, our president filed an appeal to assure that that budget did not get passed or whatever, because what they're trying to lock up is still locked up between him and the Democrats or whatever. So he wants to be able to fulfill his intention to not pass the budget, feeding all of these people as leverage to continue on the process of whatever it is they're trying to do with insurance, health insurance, or whatever they're trying to do with the Republicans versus the Democrats. I understand that there could be some things going on that I don't understand in regards to the budget. I am aware of my ignorance, but it is a bad look when your president is essentially fighting to assure that people can't get benefits to eat. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good, Donald. That's what I will say, man. There may be some nuances that the average layman like myself don't understand about how that money comes our way and where that budget needs to come from and this and that. But the optics are terrible because you're sending money to foreign countries. You're sending money, from what I understand, to Argentina, $40 billion there. Obviously, we talk greatly about Israel and how much money we've sent to Israel over the past however long it's been, in the billions. And it doesn't require that much to feed all of these people or to continue the benefits for this upcoming cycle. So you have to wonder, what is it that we're looking at there as it pertains to people like myself who need those benefits? Why is our president fighting so hard to ensure we don't get them, to keep leverage going for whatever it is that they're negotiating up top that has nothing to do with the people? It's just, it looks terrible. And you know, I think You know, there's a lot of choice words to send to the situation, sent to him for doing that. But I guess there's more to understand as well, which I'm just kind of bowing away to say that I believe there may be more to understand than what it is I do. But it doesn't feel good to see your president say, hey, man, let's file this appeal to ensure these people can't get what they need in regards to their food. People are starving or on the verge of beginning the process of starving if they can't get their benefits. And these are Americans, people who may have voted for you. So that's something I don't think that you want out there said for your name. You know, and that's the thing, like, people really are sullying their reputations, sullying their credibility. A lot of these governments, however things are set up, however it looks, they look bad. They look really bad. And it's tough because a lot of the people who need these benefits are not educated, and so they're not necessarily going to ask questions like, what is it that I don't know that makes what it is you've done here not the worst thing in the world? You see what I'm saying? That's not really something that people are going to ask in a lot of cases. They're just going to see their president advocating for the ability to see them starve. That's what it looks like. And so I just, you know, sometimes I come with different tones on different conversations, and this is the tone I choose in this day, especially after the interaction I just had with the good buddy there at the front desk. I'm not in the mood to be angry or cuss anybody out in regards to this. But I will say that if you want good reputations with the people, appearing to advocate for the starving of people is a bad way to assure that you have that. And I'm really praying for the people out there who didn't have their benefits, man. And I'm very thankful I'm in a position to have mine. I really am. And you know, these are trying times in this world, man. Yeah, but you know, I was listening to some people talk about what is considered the Gaza effect, and it's the same concept that I talked about on my channel maybe a week and a half ago, which is those of us who've been paying attention to that situation, now we have a certain passion for other situations that don't have anything to do with that. You want to see people healing all over the world. You want to see genocide ending anywhere. You want to be aware of what's going on in other places, not just the one you're focused on. It's given a certain interest or passion for humanitarianism, if that's a word, amongst people who were not humanitarians before, and you're giving birth to them. And they call it the Gaza effect. And it's the same thing we were saying, you know. I think there's going to be a lot of people who are paying more attention to different things, who are less accepting of certain things, who are going to be quicker to boycott, quicker to raise awareness with their voices in regards to allowing for more people to be aware of what's going on in these situations. We're not in the same world we used to be in before this genocide. In the past, we were cloaked by the understanding that, okay, we got our own culture. We care about what happens in our country. We want to watch the Super Bowl. We want to watch the NBA Finals. We want to watch the Grammys. We're interested in watching American Idol or whatever it is. You know what I mean? We didn't really care about what went on outside of this place. We understood things were awful, but like it's a detachment culturally amongst Americans versus those circumstances. And that detachment is no longer a detachment. That bridge is now being built, and more people are crossing it to say, yeah, I still like my interests, I still love my interests, but I got enough time to boycott the UAE. I got enough time to boycott Israel. I got enough time to boycott whoever's doing whatever to anybody, however. And more footage is being out there in these situations to show us the atrocities that maybe our forefathers and our ancestors were not able to see. They were aware, but it was out of sight, out of mind. This ain't out of sight. And the footage that's been coming out in Africa over the past 3 weeks, we're not in a space where we say, well, they're not white people, so we don't care, or they're not Americans, so we don't care. That's old. That's an old America. That's not the America we're becoming right now. The America we're becoming is very much talking about that type of stuff. Very much looking at that situation saying, nah, we're not going for that. Nah, you don't get to do that to those people without some pushback. Nah, you don't get to act like that. We don't want to see genocide. We don't want to see these. We are seeing these images. We are not pleased with these images. They're getting more graphic and more horrific by the day. And that, in and of itself, is giving birth to what people are considering the Gaza effect. To where we don't want to just see prosperity in our own circumstances, but we want to see prosperity where people are suffering too. We want to see people have the ability to move around and have the right to whatever they choose everywhere in the world, not just in our own land. That whole America First ideology, you got to be raised with that in this era. That's not real. We're humanity. We're human first, not land first. Religion and land comes second to the basic humanity. And I think that's that ideology that makes it otherwise is coming to an end. People aren't really listening to people like that anymore. It's not time to just care about what goes on in my bubble, but to what happens everywhere else as well. And I just think there's a lot of pushback on that, but it's also a lot of support for it. And so that's really where we're at right now. It's the Gaza effect, man. It's more common for people who didn't care in the past to say, yo, I see and I'm not happy. I'm noticing and I'm not looking away. I'm not too weak to do this. I can look at that and say that's bad. You know what I mean? And that's it's really that simple. It's really that simple. And some of the footage of people terrorizing people, man, kids begging for their lives, and people being buried alive. And we're seeing these images. It's not just stuff you hear about and then look away and don't, you know, we're seeing it in our phone in between whatever else we're scrolling past. And that's the new world that all of us are in. And it's coming fast. Change comes fast in that regard because of the internet and the presence of these devices. As to where it took a while for change to come in the past, for the civil rights movement word to get around, all that, for the abolishment of slavery word. It takes years for people to come around to understand. It only takes a couple of days for a word to spread around in this era. And so too does the change that comes with people being outraged can come faster now in this era. And so we got to give real credence to that as we go forward. And I think that the powers that be going to have to adjust to that as we go forward. And if they fail to adjust to that, they're going to lose credibility rapidly. They're going to lose a stranglehold on this place in ways that their forefathers never did. And this is what I've been saying for a long time on this channel now. Since the beginning of this genocide, I've been saying that. They're going to lose power quickly. The game has changed. The measurements have changed, and they need to adjust just like the rest of us do. And I think they're failing to do that. I think they're holding on to the idea that things are still moving at the same pace, and they're not. I've been paying attention to Candace Owens a lot as well. As I've been telling you guys, you know, I didn't always agree with some of the things she said, particularly about our people, my black people, her black people. I didn't always agree with her point of view. And to a point, as I start to pay attention to her, I come to understand her better, and then from there see the growth in her to say that she probably don't agree with some of the stuff she used to say too. She was trying to align with a party because she believed in her party. She has since come to understand that neither party is any good. New information requires for adjustment and new opinions. And I think what I'm seeing in that woman is a very strong shift in her point of view. And she understands her base is still people who align with that, but she's waking them up with what it is she's talking about. And I encourage everybody who's living in the times we're in right now, take a look at what she's talking about. Because she's unearthing a lot of things that are kind of putting two and two together, just like everything else we've been talking about on this channel. 2 and 2, 3 and 3, it's kind of coming together. And her emphasis on the passing of a friend has her unearthing different things surrounding that situation that ultimately connect to other things, etc. And we talk about on this channel. And it all leads back to Israel and our alliance with them. And it's just, I think at this point, she's one of the most important voices speaking right now in the whole world. And I understand, like I said, she said some things that I didn't agree with. She took some positions that I thought were hurtful to our people. And I think she's going to have a hard time gaining the respect of people who are not following her right now, who have been hurt or offended by the things that she said. And that's the devil in the details at times. You tell your truth throughout your life and you gain new understanding as you go forward, but people still remember what you used to say and they don't want to listen to anything else you have to say. Some mistakes you can only make once, man. And when it comes to offending people, that's one of them ones. A lot of people will not listen to you, even if it's in their best interest, even if you're telling the truth. Because I understand that dynamic, I choose to keep an ear to what she's saying. And I haven't disagreed with a whole lot of what she said over the last 2 months. Not a whole lot at all, really. And so that's why I tell people, hey, man, if you're looking for some truth, well, the only people I trust in this entire government system, this entire political system, is Candace Owens. Someone that if you would have told me 2 years ago to pay attention to, I would have told you no. I think at the end of the day, man, this is just a part of that grand awakening. All of us have to come to the conclusion that we've been taught to lean on one side or another, focus on what's going on in our bubble, focus what's going on in our, take care of home first, care about home first. But we're not just in a country, we're in a world. And the sooner we start broadening our appreciation or pride in that, the sooner we can start relating to other people who really need us to do so. That's what I come to understand. This whole America First thing, it's not good for us anymore. Because that's the ideology that has made us indifferent to other people and more so a problem for them in a lot of situations that we're starting to find out about right now. Do you know you're funding a genocide in Gaza? Do you know that anytime you support some of this company or that company or this company, that they are funding terrorism? Do you know that the people who are telling you who terrorists are actually engaging in this funding and in these terrorist attacks? Like, these are things that we're starting to wake up to, man. You don't get to just tell me who to trust and who not to trust. You got to show me some proof, because there's proof of other things everywhere else. You got footage of all this other stuff, so you can't just tell me, hey, watch out for them, they're bad guys, and not show me footage to align with what it is that you're saying. And that's where that credibility is really getting lost amongst those who control this earth. Because they're not showing proof, they're not showing receipts. But the receipts for the stuff that they're doing is out there. And the receipts to the stuff that we're seeing is everywhere. I'm going to try to tell people, like, the world is changing. This is what I've been talking about. This is exactly what I've been talking about. And so, yeah, that's my point of view, man. I just want to give people an understanding of what it is that I've been paying attention to, and also what it is I've been dealing with over the last couple of days. And I continue to appreciate my freedom. I continue to appreciate the safety that this place has for me, whatever that would be defined as. But I also understand that there are a lot of people who are unsafe, and the only reason why they're unsafe is because I'm so comfortable in my safe spaces. My parameters for suffering and what it is I'm willing to sacrifice aligns only but so much with what's best for them because of that self-centered positioning. And that we've been coerced into that self-centered positioning. And even it is a facade when you look around and see how many people are suffering around you in this country. And then start becoming educated on how we're funding other people's health care, funding other people's education in countries not our own. It's just not, it's no longer something that we're going to be ignorant in regards to. It's not, we're not lost when it comes to that. If you can afford to give another country $40 billion, then there should be no reason I'm seeing so many homeless people surrounding me. You understand what I'm saying? There's no reason why that should be the case. You can't make that make sense. And I think that's what the common person is starting to understand and starting to believe. And a lot of the people who were brainwashed by otherwise ideologies are getting older and passing away now. And all that's left is people who were thinking like me, basically. And so that's what they need to understand, and that's what they need to adjust to. And if they don't, they're going to lose power. They're going to lose power. They're going to deal with unprecedented struggles. And I think it's coming for the powers that be, unprecedented struggles. And so that's really what I see there, man. I think a lot of people are intelligent, man. I think a lot of people aren't. Not everybody is in a stupor, so to speak. A lot of people who understand this, who have just not moved in a direction where they are ready to act on that understanding. They still are holding out hope that things stay the same, or holding out hope that it won't be the worst for them. But I think that it would be wise to stop having so much optimism when it comes to that type of thing. Because at the end of the day, if you're utilizing mental warfare, if you're utilizing psychological warfare against people who have devices in their hands, your psychological warfare had better come with some receipts, some footage, backing up what it is you're saying. That's really what it comes down to. You got to show proof. You have to show proof. It's hard to lie in 2025. You have to show proof. When you say there's beheaded babies, I'm seeing beheaded babies, but they're not where you said they are. It's in the places you told me where people are beheading babies. Their babies are being beheaded, and they're showing me the footage. I'm seeing that. Where are yours? Bdf 44. I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.